The reason I wanted to share this is because I strongly believe that opportunity and adversity, they're bedfellows. For those of you who know me, this is a little bit of an old story with a little bit of an update and, a teaser of what's to come. For those of you who don't know me, well, history colors your story. Consider this girl that I taught in summer school this past session. She's going to be a junior next year and she doesn't know how to multiply. Kind of a outstanding situation, right? But throw in the fact that she's got 7 brothers and sisters. All of them have different dads, and the mother abandoned all of them. So they all live with their grandmother. All the kids, except for this one girl, they're in serious trouble. They're involved with drugs and all kinds of bad stuff. So this girl trying to learn how to multiply, going to be a junior in high school, her story's a little different with all that history. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of my history, how I got to where I am right now, and, well, tell you what's coming next. You see, back in 2010, I found myself weighing over 300 pounds. Being that I'm about 5'9" and a half, I think I had a measurable gravitational force of my own. So anyway, long story short, 12 years before I'd had a back surgery. It was pretty serious and it scared me, so I just decided I wasn't going to do anything. I was just going to protect my back, and of course I ended up doing far more damage by getting so fat. But in 2010, I found myself in the hospital. I had stomach problems. Turned out it was from taking too much ibuprofen, and the lining of my stomach was starting to separate and it hurt. During that whole process, they had to do some ultrasounds on my kidneys, and well, they found a bunch of fatty deposits there. That's bad. That's really bad. So that scared me. So I decided that year in 2010 that every single day that I worked, I was going to exercise in some shape or form, a walk, some push-ups, something. So over the course of that school year, I went from 300 pounds to 200 pounds. And all that journey there was a lot. There was a lot in there. I'll share that with you another time maybe. I've always ridden bikes my entire life, but never for exercise. And in 2012, I did the Tour de Tucson. I was riding it just for completion. I wasn't chasing any sort of time or looking for a placing or anything, but yeah, I did it. It was really cool. So then in 2013, I was on a group ride, a GABA group ride. And that's a local group in Tucson. And it was the Tumacacori Century. And Tom Danielson showed up, and he and I were riding together and got to talking, and he really encouraged me to continue to lose weight and, well, to race some USAC races the following season. By the way, if you don't know about Tom Danielson, he's got a coaching program that's pretty awesome. I mean, Tom's forgotten more about racing than I'll ever know. And, well, the thing with racing is, man, there's a lot of strategy involved. So in 2014, I raced. I won my hometown race, got on the podium a whole bunch of times, won a bunch of other races, and joined a team, and things were great. Found a circle of friends and a passion, and man, life was good. And I was pretty sure that I was going to win the state championship for the time trial for Cat 5 beginners like I was. I was hoping to be maybe top 3 times for anybody of any category on the day, much less Cat 5. But then one afternoon, my calf started feeling funny. Pretty soon, I couldn't even use my left leg anymore. Couldn't walk, in a lot of pain. I was mortified. Went to the doctor. Nerve issues again from my lower back. Well, with the help of some friends and some mentors, I was able to go ahead and participate in the state championship individual time trial, and I had enough fitness to win. But I really believed that was going to be my very last race, and I was devastated. I was just starting to realize some of the things I could do when I got hurt, and all went away. What followed were 2 years of, well, a lot of suffering and sadness. I mean, all this newfound passion I had was just taken away. Had to have surgery, a fusion, triple, from S1 to L5, L5 to L4. Doctor discovered my S1 was broken and there was a chunk floating around in there, and oh man, bad. After that whole thing, I actually had to learn to walk again. My brain was getting confused with the signals from my lower body, and I walked like I was drunk half the time. I'd be walking and all of a sudden my leg would just go one way or the other. Man, it was really crazy. Anyway, with that kind of fusion, ability to ride a bicycle competitively is, well, really hit or miss. I mean, nobody knows. I started doing some structured training. I started doing this weightlifting program through Strong Lifts 5x5, which is really amazing. And I'll get to that in just a little bit. And started using Trainer Road. Their stuff is structured, and man, it really helped me. I'm condensing a whole lot of trial and error and heartache. And also in between all of that, those were some pretty dark days for me. Gained a lot of weight, and I was able to return. And I started racing, and started racing some more, and riding some more, and started doing structured training. And pretty soon I was beating my old best times and ended up on the podium a whole bunch of times, won my hometown race again. And was planning on doing the Tour of the Healer with my good friend Tim. And at the Tucson Bicycle Classic, Tim crashed, broke his hip. A couple weeks later, during a training ride, a shootout, I crashed, and turned out being a lot worse than I thought, even when I was in the hospital. Punctured lung, had to have a chest tube, 4 broken ribs, broken collarbone, pretty severely damaged hand. Not sure what's going to be up with my knee yet, still. And worst part of it, concussion. Man, this concussion's really nasty. Still having a lot of trouble with memory and dizziness, and unfortunately getting kind of moody too. So, not sure what's ahead for me, but that's why I wanted to share this whole thing. See, one of the things I've always struggled with is, well, I have a tendency to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You see, if I can't have everything exactly like I want it to be, then I usually just say, whatever, I'm going to do something else entirely. See, I don't know what I can do. I don't know what level of exercise I can really get into. I re-broke my collarbone trying to do a push-up about 5 weeks ago. I didn't know that it was broken. It wasn't ever diagnosed. They were so worried about these other, well, pretty serious injuries that we never even looked. And I didn't mention anything because the whole right side of my body just felt like it had been hit by a cement truck. So it hurt just like everything else hurt. Up until now, if I take the dog for too vigorous of a walk, I'll be pretty dizzy and discombobulated for 2-3 days. I'm not in control of what happens. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to return to riding again. I have no idea if I'm going to ever recover from this, or if I'm always going to be kind of dizzy and woozy. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to make the most out of the opportunities I have. And so what I'm going to be doing is I want to return to racing, and I'm going to do everything I can on my end to see if I can make that happen. You see, summer school was over yesterday, so now I'm thinking that I can start to exercise, and if it just completely wipes me out, I can just go take a nap for the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Strong Lifts 5x5. It's an amazing program. It's got an awesome app. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to go every other day. It's a 3-month program. I'm going to start it this week. I'm also going to start doing Trainer Road again. Trainer Road's pretty awesome for, man, if you're time crunched. It's really organized and structured and fantastic, and their podcast is amazing as well. The reason I wanted to share this is because I strongly believe that opportunity and adversity, they're bedfellows. You don't get one without the other. Sometimes opportunity looks great, and all you find is trouble. Other times, you find some major trouble, and there's opportunity there. So this whole thing's giving me an opportunity, well, to work on some personality flaws. That whole, man, 100% in or 100% out, not very healthy, not very balanced. So I'm going to work on that. Also, this gives me an opportunity maybe maybe through my experiences, somebody can benefit. That's where I am. That's how I got to be where I am right now, and that's where I'd like to go, back to riding. Hope you join me on my journey, see how this turns out. Subscribe. I'm going to make a playlist. It's called The Comeback. I don't even know if it's going to be a comeback, but stay tuned. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to start going to the gym. Strong Bads 5x5. It's strong holds, strong bads. I'm not really sure. I got a concussion, did I tell you? Anyway, I'll look it up. I'll put a link in the show description.